But as I just mentioned, we just recognized a lot of accomplishments that we did this year. And tonight, the three of us, along with Cindy helping us, is to acknowledge the 40 years of Sabert. So, you know, we've got the little things on the table that says, you know, what happened in 1983. A lot of great things happened in '83, and a lot of things have happened for us coming here. So I wanted to share a story of my start with Sabert. So I've always been on the food side. Getting into disposable was something that I thought I would never do. And actually the day that I was interviewing with Tyson Foods, I got a phone call from, some of you know Tony Warsavage, a recruiter. Most of you probably had worked with him to get here. And he told me of a company called Sabert that was looking for a regional manager. And I thought to myself, what the hell, I got nothing else to lose. I'll go talk to these folks. But over my first interview and understanding and looking and doing some search about Sabert, my attitude went from, I got nothing to lose, like I don't want to lose this opportunity. This is where I want to go. So, went through my interview process, met with a lot of folks. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to interview with Albert because Albert was overseas. So maybe that's why I'm here. But Sabert offered me the opportunity. I accepted it, and HR said, however, there's just one ask. Albert's coming into Chicago for the NRA and he wants to have dinner with you. So that Friday afternoon, I quit my job. I was unemployed at 5 o'clock, and at 6 o'clock I was picking Albert up for dinner. And the one thing I do remember is my family said is, don't mess this up. So I headed downtown to the Allerton Hotel to meet Albert. Never met him before, and I'll tell you, parked my car off of Michigan Avenue, went in to find Albert, and Albert took the time to walk me around, introducing, because this was the NRA, so our entire sales team of 7 people were there, and Albert was walking me around, introducing me to everyone, and I felt, you know, I was extremely nervous. I didn't know if it was because I was meeting the founder, the owner of the company, if it was because I was meeting new salespeople who I've never met before, or the fact that I was double parked off of Michigan Avenue. But I knew at that time that I'm where I need to be. And as you found out tonight, I've been here for over 20 years. Actually, it'll be 21 years next month, or the month of in May. So that's one of the reasons why I came, and the reason why I've stayed, and I intend to continue to be here. And I'll outnumber those years. Where's Gary Z at? About 27? So, very good. So.
I'm Jeff Hermstad. I've been here 19 years. It's kind of funny. I have a similar story. Too much before we knew we were going to tell something about Albert in the 40 years, but you know, my first experience with Sabert was, I remember going to 879. Going to 879 and for my first interview, or not my first interview, but meeting with Albert and the group, and I remember pulling up, and I wasn't really wowed by 879. If anyone had seen 879, I mean, it was nice, but sorry, Albert. I wasn't overwhelmed, so I pulled in. There were some potholes, trucks driving by, and went in. But what I was wowed about, amazed about, was the people, the enthusiasm, the excitement I saw from everybody working that I met with at Sabert. I remember meeting with Craig at the time in marketing, and he was so excited about square bowls. Fast Pack was coming out. Met with, a person doing Costco before me. He was showing me new pallet configurations. Very excited. Remember meeting with Gary Z. He was showing me charts, you know, in his cubicle, going, you know, it was like this, and I was truly amazed. I remember meeting with Albert after that, and you know, I was very nervous, like Tony, and I remember going in there, and it wasn't really an interview, it was more of a conversation. I remember, you know, Albert was so humble, so nice, asking me about my family, you know, and I remember leaving the interview going, I really want this job, just like Tony said. I mean, it was truly an amazing company, so I'm so thankful that I'm able to work for Sabert the last 19 years. Thank you, Albert. Congratulations on 40 years of building this great company, and as Kathy says, we look forward to the next 40.
I've been here 10 years, and I don't have an interview story because I don't really remember. It was kind of a blur, but I do remember being about 8 weeks with the company, and we went out to for a group dinner at Costello's too. It was kind of the, or it still is the go-to, I think, for group dinners. And I remember it was time to sit down for dinner, and it was kind of slow motion, and the only seat that was left was next to Albert. And to say I was nervous, I guess, was beyond, or it's an understatement. I came from a company, and I don't know that the president and the owner even knew who I was or the sales team was. So the thing that struck me about Albert is your passion for the business, your insightfulness. What went from kind of nervousness in the beginning was a great conversation. You asked me about my wife, about my children. You made it very personal. And I'll never forget that. That's kind of the point that kind of turned me and made it very personal for working for you in this organization. We had a secondary dinner in Kansas City, and if you remember, we had barbecue, and we just had a conversation. And again, you asked me about my family, my kids, and again, you made it very personal for me. So I thank you for that. Thank you for 40 years. Really appreciate it.
So Albert, we're so proud to be a part of this organization, and thank you so much for the vision you've had for this company. And I think I can speak for everyone, the vision you've had in all of us. We appreciate it, and we're looking forward to number 80.
So if you think you guys are worried about what we're going through today, back then things were a lot different. And to start a business at a period when inflation rate was at that high was just not the smartest thing to be thinking about. But nevertheless, it was a passion that I had, and I'm so pleased. And first of all, I want to share a couple of things. I'm very, very, very excited to be with all of you. And it's just so wonderful. You're energizing. You're all really winners in everything you do. And I'm so, so very grateful for having you believe in the organization and in the commitment that you all make every day, and the devotion that you bring to the organization. I know that you represent the company in the best possible way every day. And I want to thank Kathy for being who she is, and for all she brings, and for her leadership to all of you, and the kind of winning that you all have experienced in the last few years is really a result of her true leadership. So let's give her a big hand. So, you know, I have to be very, very honest with you. I was in a meeting last Thursday, I think it was, and Brian was showing his screen on the presentation, and I saw an email. I don't think I was meant to see that email, but it said, gift for Albert for 40 years. Something happened. So, can you guys hear me okay? Yeah. So, I have to be honest with you. My wife knows everything. This morning, I was at the airport, and I saw a T-shirt that said, "I don't need to refer to Google. I know my wife knows everything." So I want to get one of these T-shirts. But you know, she knows that I love to cook, and this is not something I'm going to cook with, but but it gets very close. So thank you, Cindy, very, very much. Appreciate it. And thank you, all of you. And I do remember that dinner, Tony, and I think one of the things that struck me that night when we had was how important your family was to you, and how it always resonated with me that it always comes first. So that's something that we always try to make sure that we put our families and ahead of everything else. So that's one thing that resonated with me. Jeff, it's been a long journey, and you've been through so many different experiences, and you've made an amazing customer in Costco, and it's all because of you. So thank you for all. And Mark, I'm always absolutely amazed at how you're able to exercise the way you do. It's just an amazing. You're too much. How you do that every day is God bless you. Thank you again for everything.